Today we're going to work on lesson 9.5, reading scientific notation. First of all, just a reminder of what scientific notation is. It is a method of writing numbers, especially very large numbers or very small numbers. Typically, these numbers are used in science, which is why we call it scientific notation. This is generally where a lot of crossover comes in between science and math. We're very specific in how we write scientific notation. It is a number here multiplied by a power of 10, always a power of 10. This first number is a number that is larger than 1 but smaller than 10. And it's usually going to be a decimal, so it could be 1 and 5/10. It could be 6 and 25/100, but it's got to be larger than 1 but smaller than 10. So the first number here will never be 2 digits. It's always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Multiplied by a power of 10. Again, the power of 10 is important. If it is a positive exponent, those are for really large numbers, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But know that if it's a really big number, it's going to have a positive exponent. If it has a negative exponent, and this is the only place where we use negative exponents is in scientific notation, it is a really small number, so a decimal with lots of zeros. Again, we're going to see them in a little bit. So let's practice just recognizing it. We'll do the first column together. You're going to do the second column alone and then check our work. So let's see which ones are scientific notation. This one is scientific notation. The number between 1 and 10 times 10 to the power of -6. All works. Second one, 9/10 times 10 to the power of 8. Definitely has 10 times 10 to the power of 8, but this number is smaller than 1, so it is not scientific notation. 3 and 77/100 between 1 and 10 times 5 to the power of 10. This is not scientific notation because it has to be multiplied by a power of 10. 6 and 9/100 times 10 to the power of 7. First numbers between 1 and 10 times multiplied by a power of 10. This is scientific notation. This number is not. This is not between 1 and 10, not scientific notation. 5 times 10 to the power of -9, yes. Even though it doesn't have a decimal, it is still a scientific notation. Pause the recording and see if you can pick out which ones in the second column are scientific notation. Okay, let's double check. Not between 1 and 10. Yes, multiplied by 10 to the power of -16. Not between 1 and 10. You can still have 10 to the power of 0, but this is not between 1 and 10. Same thing here, not between 1 and 10. This one is times 10 to the power of -22. Cannot have this because it is a negative. You will not have any negative numbers in scientific notation. So let's practice reading it. Basically, we're going to take our scientific notation and we're going to put it into standard form. Standard form is how you are used to seeing numbers, writing and reading them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with our 7 and 9/10. This exponent is going to be very important. It's a positive exponent. So because it's positive, we're going to go big. So we're going to move our decimal point to the right, and we're going to move it 5 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's where our decimal point is now. We have these blanks, which we are going to fill in with zeros. We're going to make sure we have our commas in the right place. 790, comma, 000. Our answer in standard form is 790,000. Let's try a negative exponent. So here we have a negative exponent. Same thing. We are going to start with 3 and 22/100ths. We have a negative exponent, so that means it's going to be a small number. So we're going to move our decimal point to the left to make it a small number. And we're moving it 4 times. So once past the 3, 2, 3, 4. There's our decimal point. Again, zeros to fill in the blanks. Rewrite it, point, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 3, 2, 2. There is our answer. Practice a couple more. 9 and 3/10 times 10 to the power of a negative 6. So we're going to go left, because it's a small number. We're going to go left 6 places. So 9 and 3/10, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 3. Second one, we have a positive exponent, so it's going to be a bigger number. So we're going to go to the right, 6 and 3/10, move it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put in those zeros. There's where my comma goes. 63,000. Take a moment, pause the video, try these two on your own, and then come back and we'll see how you do. Positive exponent, so it's going to be a big number. We're going to move our decimal to the right. We don't have a decimal point, so it's right after the 6. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see, put a comma there, comma there. So we're going to have 60 million. Negative exponent, going to be a small number, so we're going to go to the left. 9 and 9/10. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, so 4 zeros. So point 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 9. Hopefully you did okay. Your homework is to watch the next lesson. The next lesson, we're going to go backwards. We're going to go from standard form back to scientific notation. So make sure you understand this one and then watch 9.6.